Vibes are high at mile high right now, and I cannot wait for the start of the 2025 season. Welcome in Broncos country to the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Moose, and the Broncos are 2-0. And if you've loved what you've seen so far from both the offense, the defense, the special teams, and the coaching staff, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button to show your support. Let's start with the news so far because we do have some bad news to get to. Sources confirm that guard Nick Garguilo was put on IR, ending his season. Now, there haven't been a ton of specifics so far about what the actual injury is. We know it's a leg injury. We know he was carted off in a brace on Saturday. My thoughts, probably an ACL, but of course, we'll make sure to let you know as soon as we get the specifics on that injury. In a corresponding move, the Broncos are signing Adam Prentice, a fullback who played at Colorado State and signed with the Broncos as a UDFA in 2021. He spent the past 4 years with the Saints. So, welcome back to Mile High, my friend, Mr. Prentice. Today, we are going to talk about the winners and losers after the Arizona Cardinals game. Tons of winners, very few losers, and I also have some honorable mentions that didn't quite make the winner list, but definitely had some standout performances as well. Let's begin with the winners. Of course, Stiddy, QB2, who, let's be honest, right now, kind of playing like a QB1. Not the QB1. Don't get your knickers in a twist. I'm telling you right now, there is no way that he is going to beat out Bo Nix. However, I did point out in a couple of videos that I've made, and some Broncos fans definitely showed me the way as well, that he is definitely skyrocketing that trade value, although I don't think the Broncos are going to want to trade him considering how great his performance has been so far throughout 2 games. And statistically speaking, it can't get much better. I mean, over the 2025 2 preseason games that have happened so far, 79% completion percentage, 376 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a QB rating of 143.0. By the way, he's only played in 4 total quarters. So this is a full game's worth of numbers right here. And if you were to tell me that Bo were to go out and do this in week 1, I would have said he's the player of the week by far. So I'm going to go out and throw my opinion out on a limb here. If there was a preseason MVP, Stiddy would win it, at least right now. He is by far and away performing better than any other backup quarterback in the NFL, and it's not even close. He's looking super sharp, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. I did see this, by the way, after the end of the Broncos game, and I feel like this might be a little low, considering Vegas came out and gave all of their over-unders, and they're constantly adjusting this during the preseason. The most recent one for the Broncos, 9.5 wins. I better see at least 100 O's for over. But if you think let me know in the comments section down below why you think that. But Stiddy, you're doing well, my friend. Congratulations. Let's go over to the defensive side of the ball because I really only have one winner so far on the defensive side of the ball, at least from last game, and that was Jonah Elliss. And he was one of the players during our pregame and our warm-up that I kind of said, keep an eye out for tonight because against the 49ers 2 weeks ago, he had a couple of spark plays. I mean, when he took the field against the Cardinals, he was clearly one of the best on the field. His ability to not only set the edge as an edge rusher in the pass game, but his ability to have patience and eye discipline to attack the run is also incredible. 3 tackles, 3 pressures, 2 quarterback hits so far during the preseason. And it just doesn't get much better than Jonah Elliss is right now. He was on the sidelines, dapping up his players. Everyone was hyped around him. He looks like a player that is going to have a massive role for this team, at least as a rotational 6th man off the bench. But his role as that dual threat edge in Vance Joseph's blitz-heavy scheme right now is palpable. I mean, you can actually taste how much he is making those quarterbacks' lives a living hell. Not just in the pass game, though. The run game as well, he's been great. One play in particular that I have to highlight was a stuff in the backfield on Emari Demercado where Jonah Elliss just kind of picked him up and dropped him down for a loss of 4. So Jonah Elliss, you get a mile-high salute too, my friend. Great performance, not only in week 1, but in week 2 as well. Let's go back to the offense because it was an offensive fireworks display. Over 500 yards for the Broncos against the Cardinals. And, of course, who else? Troy Franklin. I'm going to continue to say it until he proves me otherwise. This is the quickest turnaround of any Bronco on this team from 2024 to 2025. It's a night and day difference. He's a completely different player. And I know last year he started to creep up and really start to show his ability, but he's exploding on the scene right now. He only has 9 targets because he only played a couple of drives in that first game against the 49ers, but 7 receptions, 85 yards, found the end zone twice against the Cardinals, and his spacing and understanding of how to manipulate zone defense is completely different than it was last year. I've got so many things to say about this player, but I'll wrap it up in just kind of one overarching take. He's going to take over as wide receiver 2 behind Courtland Sutton. Make no mistake about it. It's not right now because I still firmly feel like Marvin Mims has that grasp of that position. But if Troy Franklin is giving you any indicators right now, he's going to be our wide receiver 2, not RB2, wide receiver 2, because of that Bo Nix Oregon to Oregon connection that they clearly have been developing this entire offseason. If you can't wait to see more Troy Franklin out on the field, number 11 from heaven, as Skip Bayless would like to say, although that's about Micah Parsons. Do me a favor if you haven't done so already. Hit that thumbs up icon. Now, before we get into the other winners and then subsequently the losers, because there were a couple of those as well, I have to tell you about today's sponsor, and that, of course, is Ethos. My friends, life insurance is nothing to play around with. And as someone who is getting married very shortly and thinking about having kids, I don't want to take this for granted at all. Life insurance is the most important investment that you can make in your family. And now with Ethos, you can get covered and protected in minutes with rates at less than $23 a month. They are revolutionizing the insurance industry with a 100% online process and can provide protection for you and your loved ones in as little as 10 minutes. No medical exams. All you have to do is answer a few easy questions online. It is that simple. They are 100% online and hassle-free, so that process is so easy to apply. And you can get same-day coverage without ever leaving your house. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Again, get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. I will have all of that ready for you in the comments and description of today's video. The second wide receiver winner is what I meant to say. Pat Bryant. Now, Pat Bryant might not have found the end zone like Troy Franklin, but make no mistake about it, Jarrett Stidham's connection with this young player was on clear display on Saturday night. I mean, it looked like Michael Thomas. And I know that seems like kind of a chalk take to say because Sean Payton has mentioned that name and threw out that name a couple of times. But he plays a lot like him. Michael Thomas is not a player that stretches the field vertically. He's not going to be a go route type of player. Pat Bryant is the same way. But what he can do is slice and dice you over the middle of the field. And I'll show you what I mean coming up here in just a second. But Pat Bryant, off the line of scrimmage, his hand fighting, his confidence, his ability to flip his body in midair and make contested catches. All of that is packaged into one player, and it reminds me so much of Michael Thomas. By the way, I updated the wide receiver depth chart for you just in case, because I feel like Troy Franklin has clearly deserved that spot at wide receiver 3. I'll talk a little bit about Devon Vele coming up here in just a little bit. But I do want to point out back to Pat Bryant for a second. Just take a minute to revel in this for a moment. Do you notice something here? He is on an island, and this isn't just busted coverage. This is his ability to find the soft spot in zone defense, noticing a single high safety above the field, and just slicing and dicing in that cover 2 defense. I mean, this is it's advanced route running techniques from a kid who has not even played a regular season game in the NFL. Translation, he impresses me more each and every single day. In fact, I think you've now got a power 4 with the Broncos wide receiver room. Courtland Sutton, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, and of course, Pat Bryant. Devon Vele, who we'll talk about here in just a little bit. Probably something to at least keep an eye on, maybe in a negative way. Let's go with our last winner, though. And who else found his end zone the first time as a Bronco, Mr. R.J. Harvey. And the reason I say R.J. Harvey, even though it was a limited snap count for him, is because of what he was able to do from week 1 to week 2. And that is this. Joe Lombardi came out on Monday of last week and said, there was a lot of good things that we saw from R.J. Harvey. However, he bounced out a little too many times outside for our taste. We're going to try and reel him back in and get him a little bit more north to south. Try to cut back towards the middle a little bit, showcase that lower center of gravity and that strength. A younger player who's less mature might look at that and go, my strength of my game is on the outside. Hell, I was number 1 in yards per carry in Division I football last year on outside runs with 8.2 yards per carry, which R.J. Harvey was. But a mature, advanced rookie player will take that coaching and say, you know what? I'm going to apply it to my game. And that's exactly what he did. Joe Lombardi said he bounced way too much outside for their liking against the 49ers. He adjusted against the Cardinals. One specific play I want to highlight for you. R.J. Harvey took the handoff. He got hit at about 1.5 yards after initial contact and then just kept driving his legs forward, pushed his shoulder down into the opposing linebacker and got an extra 2 yards out of it. That's showing his strength. And I know we've talked a lot about Ashton Jeanty on this channel because now he plays for the bad guys over there for the Las Vegas Raiders. And everyone gushed about how strong of a player he is. Don't get it twisted. R.J. Harvey, his strength is severely underrated. So those are my 5 winners, at least right now. Some honorable mentions for you on the defensive side of the ball. Lavelle Bailey, who led the team in tackles, by the way, the UDFA out of Fresno State, who's excellent in pass coverage. Would like to see him do a little bit more, which is why I can't have him on the winners list in run-stopping ability. But make no mistake about it, when it comes to surveying the middle of the field and having that eye discipline in the pass game, Lavelle Bailey is really, really good. Also, Jordan Turner, who had 3 quarterback hits and a sack and a half. So he definitely, from the productivity scale, was on full display as well. So I have to give them honorable mentions for their performances on Saturday night. Let's briefly discuss the losers here. And there's only a couple of them. And I'll keep one guy off the losers list, but also give him kind of like a dishonorable mention for the losers, that being Devon Vele. And Caleb Lohner heads the loser list. 3 pre-snap penalties. The game is clearly a little too fast for him right now. I mean, when you have 3 pre-snap penalties, 2 false starts, and 1 illegal motion, you're just not understanding the play call as it's coming in. You're not getting the snap count right. It's not clicking from an X's and O's perspective. That's okay, right? Remember, this is a kid that played 1 year of college football. He's a college basketball player. He's still learning the game. I will admit, though, that even though Caden Prescorn fumbled in the back of the end zone for a touchback, I think Caden Prescorn, my apologies, definitely has a more developed game right now than Caleb Lohner. So back to my cut candidates video that I made a couple of days ago, I have a feeling that I would flip-flop those 2 right now. I'm a man of my word, and I can admit when I'm wrong. The second loser, Audric Estime, and it's not because Audric Estime isn't very talented. I'm a Notre Dame fan, always have been. He's just not nearly as good as the other guys. Bidet is outperforming him. Jaleel is outperforming him. Jaleel had a massive run inside of the red zone, kind of solidifying his spot right now at RB3, in my opinion. Or Blake Watson, who has done a multitude of great plays in not only the pass game, but as well as the run game, too. So he's probably the odd man out right now, and I don't necessarily know that I would have him making the 53-man roster right now. I put Demarri Mathis on this because out of the one play that I really wanted to see him excel, which was this play action from Jacoby Brissett, where the defense bit on a run fake, and then Jacoby Brissett threw the ball over the middle of the field to the streaking tight end on a seam route. Demarri Mathis lost that in coverage big time. Not only did he bite on the run fake as he was cheating up inside the box, but when he dropped back in coverage, just couldn't get back in time to defend this opposing tight end for the Cardinals. Again, busted coverage happens from time to time, but Demarri Mathis was definitely on the losing end of that, and it just didn't look like he knew where his spacing was. So Demarri Mathis has to be a loser. Quick little shout-out, and Reed, if you want to throw me full screen for this, you definitely can. Not a shout-out, it's a dishonorable mention. Devon Vele, I got to tell you, from what I'm seeing from the other guys, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, Courtland Sutton, and Pat Bryant, I just don't know if Devon Vele is developing as quickly as we would like. He hasn't been a player that's been mentioned much during Broncos training camp. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he's playing poorly, but he's not excelling like the other guys. Every practice you hear Troy Franklin's name. Every practice you hear Pat Bryant's name. Courtland Sutton has highlight plays every single day. So you tell me right now where Devon Vele stands, because to me at least, it's looking like out of the 5 that could make and I think he'll make the team. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's getting cut. But I think Trent Sherfield might give him a run for his money as that wide receiver 5. Back to Audric Estime for a second, because he clearly is the one guy that I don't think right now is going to make the roster. Would or should he make the 53-man? Type C for cut, type K for keep. As of right now, I'm typing my C for cut. I need to see more from him, not only as a runner, but as someone that can pick up blitzes and do a little bit more in pass protection as well. Thanks for sticking around on this video. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to go follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I'm going to make this super simple for you. My handle is Moose_NFL. I have that for both my Insta and for my X account as well, because that's what the kids are calling it right now. X, right? Isn't that right, Producer Reed? I still call it Twitter. Either way, those are my handles, at Moose_NFL for both of them. I'll put that in the comments and description of today's video for your ease. That is going to do it for us on today's episode. We'll be back tomorrow going live for you, and if any breaking news for the Broncos happens, we'll obviously cover that as well. A mile-high salute to you, a reminder to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, like the video if you haven't, and as always, be cool.